Hey everyone, this is Tyler with Unleashed Auto Care. Welcome back to another episode. This week we're working on a 2018 Camaro SS. The vehicle has been brought into us by the owner because he wants to have the surface refined to get out some of the swirls and scratches, make it as glossy as possible, and then add years of ceramic protection to all of the exterior components to retain that freshly detailed look for as long as possible. We're going to be protected with CQuartz Finest Reserve. Now the owner chose this coating specifically because he wants the absolute best in gloss, in shine, protection, and durability. Now, of course, 80% of the results are in the prep work that we performed beforehand. We have a lot of work to do, so let's get to it. Alright, so now we have the initial wash done. That's always the first step in preparing a vehicle for any time that we're going to be polishing the paint. We want to make sure that we get off as much of the contamination, the tar, the sap, the grime, anything that's on the paint that could interfere with that polishing process. So next up, we're going to be doing a decontamination. Now, as I mentioned before, the owner takes very good care of the car, so the car is very clean. However, we're going to be taking some extra precautionary steps just to make sure, again, that all of that contamination is off the paint. That way, when we get into polishing, there's no chance of us picking something up and potentially damaging it further. Okay, so now we're moving on to the clay portion. This is where we're using a piece of clay and a clay lubricant to remove any of the remaining embedded contamination in the paint to make it nice and smooth again. A common misconception with clay is that it makes the paint shiny or glossy. It doesn't. In fact, it does the opposite. Because clay is an abrasive and it's used to get contamination off, it actually can put marring and slight swirls and scratches into the paint if not used correctly. So what we're doing here for this process is applying our clay lubricant to the surface, and we're using straight back and forth lines to get the contamination off of the surface. Once the surface feels nice and smooth, we can look at our clay bar and we can actually see little bits of dirt and grime that have been picked up from the surface. So even though the surface looked clean, this shows us that it was not. start cleaning the wheels. We've taken it off of the vehicle. We have to inspect it to see what kind of contamination we're dealing with, clean it accordingly, and then ceramic coat it. What you can see here is the owner did clean up the wheels fairly well, but there is still some tar, some dirt and grime, and other bits of contamination throughout the wheel. So again, we're going to be cleaning all of this up, making them look as good as new. There are some nicks and some other types of damage if we can focus in here. Okay, so there is some damage and some other stuff that is not repairable just due to the finish of the wheel. But overall, we'll be able to clean these up quite a bit, make them look new again. The next product that we're going to use is Iron X by Car Pro, especially because these are the front wheels. We're expecting there to be a little bit of brake dust that's accumulated even though the wheels were cleaned recently. So we're going to simply spray this on, let it dwell for a couple minutes. It's going to remove all of the environmental fallout and all of the brake dust that might be on the wheel, and then we rinse it off. Okay, so as we zoom in, we can see the purple on here. That's the actual brake dust and contamination that the Iron X is removing. And again, this would have been contamination that we could have coated right over top, so we want to make sure we remove all of it before coating. So if you're wondering why we have the vehicle on the lift, there's a couple reasons that we utilize it when we're doing a job like the CQuartz Finest Reserve on this Camaro. First and foremost, when we're having to remove the wheels to ceramic coat them, brake calipers, wheel arches, it's much easier to put the vehicle on the lift, remove the wheels, clean, decontaminate, coat them, and then reinstall them all at once. It keeps the environment nice and clean, and it ensures consistency with the results that we're producing. Also, when we have to access harder to reach areas such as underneath the side skirt here when we're polishing, it's much easier when we put the vehicle on the lift. We save our backs, and again, it ensures that we have a much more consistent, better quality result at the end of the day. So on the wheels, as you may have seen in some of the other footage, we do have CarPro wheel covers over top of all the wheels. Because we've already ceramic coated them, we want to make sure that no dust, contamination, polishing oils, or anything like that come in contact with the wheels. So we put these nice wheel covers over top of them. They're completely waterproof, very easy to clean and maintain, and they're good for up to 22-inch tires. Okay, so now the vehicle has been fully polished from top to bottom. That means that all the swirls and the scratches are out of the paint. We ended up doing some denibbing as well. There was a couple areas with dust in the paint, and we also fixed some stone chips for the owner as well. So now that the paint is looking nice and glossy, it's time to add the ceramic protection. Again, in this case, the owner chose CQuartz Finest Reserve. This is going to provide him years of easy maintenance, incredible gloss and shine, and of course, vital protection against chemicals, light abrasion, UV rays, and more. It helps preserve the finish of the vehicle and give it that freshly detailed look for years to come. I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell to receive notifications every time we upload a new video. And otherwise, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.